Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment, and it is time for the 2019 NFL playoffs. And man, I cannot wait for these playoffs. These are my most anticipated NFL playoffs in quite some time because I truly believe that about 11 of these teams, of the 12 teams in the playoffs, can legitimately go to and win the Super Bowl. I really believe it is open for grabs. It is anyone's year. Who knows what is about to happen in this thing? It's going to be beautiful to watch, and it begins with the wild card this Saturday and Sunday. So this is how it's going to work. I will go through my bracket, tell you all my current playoff bracket, but I will tell you that these predictions are still subject to change, especially in terms of the wild card. I will come back and I'll look at my wild card predictions on Wednesday, but this will be my official playoff bracket. Okay, maybe Wednesday rolls around and maybe I feel a little different about this team beating that team, but this will be my official bracket. And I'm not looking forward to this, okay, in terms of making the bracket, because this bracket could be busted. I mean, we're gonna have finally January madness in terms of NFL playoff brackets. It's gonna be beautiful. I'm gonna love it. Man, I can't wait for these playoffs. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the AFC side of things, and we will move to the NFC afterwards. Let us begin with the Indianapolis Colts at the Houston Texans. Now, I did say to start this video that most of the teams in the bracket can win the Super Bowl. Now, both of these teams are threats. I think that they're threats. Are they two Super Bowl contenders? They have their flaws, right? So I think these are two teams we don't have to be too worried about, although I do have one of them going kind of far. So Colts at the Texans, who will win this matchup? We saw this matchup only about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the Colts went to Houston and won 24-21, and they were up in that game. I want to say even 24-14, and the Texans got a late touchdown in order to make the score closer than how the game actually was. Andrew Luck threw for 400 yards. T.Y. Hilton caught about 200 of those 400 yards. They had a great game. But I saw T.Y. Hilton against the Tennessee Titans, and man, that guy is limping. He is hurt, and I just cannot see him having that type of performance again against the Houston Texans. I expect Tyrann Mathieu to help double up on T.Y. Hilton, and also Justin Reed as well for the Houston Texans. They're going to help double up on this guy, help slow this guy down. Kareem Jackson, Jonathan Joseph, etc. And the Houston Texans secondary help slow him down. And Deshaun Watson, look, here's the deal, okay? People want me to apologize. They want me to go to the confession booth and profess my sins for saying that Deshaun Watson was not going to be a very good quarterback. I don't apologize for making opinions. I apologize if I hit your car, if we got into a car accident. I'll apologize for that. I don't apologize for making opinions. I will say, was I wrong on Deshaun Watson? I'm not going to say wrong yet. I think the W and the R is loaded. I still need the O and the N and the G, but we're getting close, man. I mean, the guy looks pretty good. I got to be honest. He's making the throws. He's been accurate lately. He's doing his thing, especially over the last 8 weeks, and I think he gets it done. I think he goes toe-to-toe with Andrew Luck, and he defeats the Indianapolis Colts at the Texans. Moving on, you have the LA Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens, yet another matchup that we saw only a couple of weeks ago. In that matchup, it was in LA, and the Ravens got it done 22-10. Lamar Jackson did his thing, was able to find, I believe it was Hayden Hurst for a long touchdown that proved to be the deal sealer, right? So I'm afraid about this matchup, but the LA Chargers are 8-0 anytime they've had to get on a plane, right? Remember, they lost to the LA Rams, but that was still in LA, right? I mean, that's not really going on a plane to go play anyway, to play anywhere. They lost at home to the Ravens. They lost at home to the Chiefs. They lose at home. When they have to go on the road, when they play in London even, they win games. And now Stephen A. Smith's favorite player, Hunter Henry, is back. You're talking about Melvin Gordon being healthier, Keenan Allen being healthier. The Chargers are getting healthy. The Ravens are looking so dangerous right now with Lamar Jackson at the helm. But the last time the Chargers played the Ravens, they were able to limit him in terms of his running game. He only had 39 rushing yards in that game. And we saw last week the Ravens defense is a little flawed. Give me the Chargers to progress here and beat the Baltimore Ravens. All right, the next AFC round. You have the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. And I'm going to surprise you all here. Yes, I am a Tennessee Titans fan. I am. But I will tell you, I'll be unbiased when I have to be. I have the Houston Texans going to New England and getting the W. I have Deshaun Watson going toe-to-toe with Tom Brady and coming out the victor against the New England Patriots. Now, perhaps we'll come to next week and I may feel different if the Texans don't even beat the Colts or if they don't impress me in that victory. But we've seen the Patriots be vulnerable this season. I understand they're up in Foxborough and it's so hard to beat them up in Foxborough. But I like the way the Texans defense has been playing lately. J.J. Watt's doing his thing. Jadeveon Clowney, same thing. They were able to limit the run game of a lot of teams that have been playing lately. I think they do the same against the Patriots. And the Patriots, without Josh Gordon, with Gronk being slower, I think they're vulnerable. And the Texans are much better now than they were when they played the Patriots week 1. And I can't say the same for the Patriots. Give me the Houston Texans to go to New England and beat the New England Patriots, shocking the world in that game. Again, not too shocking to me because I have it. And speaking of that, we have the LA Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, here's the thing. Okay, this is the inflection point for me. This is what's going to determine my entire bracket. Because I don't want to spoil the entire video, but I'll say this. The winner of this game, to me, is going to go to the Super Bowl, and I really like them to win it. I really think it all boils down to this. These two teams that have dominated the AFC all season long, I think it boils down to this game, and really this game alone. I hate this game. I fear this game with every bone in my body. I don't know who to pick, right? But here's what I know. The Chargers were able to go to Kansas City and get it done a couple weeks ago. The Chargers are healthier than they were a couple weeks ago, and they have been road warriors all season long. Patrick Mahomes scares me, and that's why I really want to pick him here. And if they win this game, I'm rolling with them from this point forward. But right now, I got the LA Chargers getting it done. Now, if the Chargers lose week 1 in the wild card round, fine. I'm going with the Chiefs, and I'm happy with that. Remember that. I think this is the inflection point. This is where my bracket will be made or break. And right now I have the Chargers winning this game, continuing to be road warriors, and that sets us up for a wacky AFC championship game as we have the LA Chargers traveling to Houston, taking on the Houston Texans. And again, I have the LA Chargers going on the road and getting it done. Now, I think the Texas magic would end here. I think this would be a sizable victory by the LA Chargers, and they would go to the Super Bowl much easier than this. I think this would be a much easier game for them, honestly, than going to the Ravens or going to the Chiefs. But it's all about matchups, and I think they match up much better against the Texans than those other teams. So I have the Chargers winning this. That's the AFC. The NFC. Let's start with the 6-3 matchup, as we have the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. They are traveling to Chicago, taking on the Chicago Bears. Now, this is another tough game to predict. The Chicago Bears have been playing better lately. I think they're winners of 8 of their last 9 and maybe even 9 of the last 10. Been playing really well, but their offense has slowed down. Mitchell Trubisky, only 5 passing touchdowns in the last 5 games and 5 interceptions to go along with that. That concerns me. But the running game has been actually decent. Jordan Howard was able to help run them to victory against the Minnesota Vikings, a game that they didn't even need to win, but they just won anyway because they just can't stop winning games right now. The Eagles have won about 3 games in a row. Could have been 4 if they got it done against Dallas at overtime, but they didn't, right? And they didn't do that, and that concerns me. Now they're going to Chicago, where it's tough to play in January, man, and the Bears defense has just sucked people into Chicago and stifled them. They sucked the Rams, the LA Rams, the potent LA Rams. They sucked them in and they shut them down. Only a couple of weeks ago, that remains in my memory, and because of that, I have the Bears going to get done against the Philadelphia Eagles. You have the Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys, a very tough game. This is going to be a close game. It's going to come down to one of the final possessions in the football game. So I had to ask myself one simple question. Who do I trust more, Dak Prescott or Russell Wilson? And this is not to say that I don't trust Dak Prescott, because I've seen Dak Prescott lead his team down the field and put them in position to win games for the past 3 years. I have seen that. But I've seen Russell Wilson do it more, and I've seen him do it in the playoffs a hell of a lot more. So give me the Seahawks to win this game in Dallas. Now, I understand Dallas is 7-1 in Dallas, and that's scary, and I believe you, and I'm with you. but I just trust Russell Wilson, and especially now that he has a run game, a little bit more than I do the Dallas Cowboys, giving the Seahawks to win this game. Our next round, we have the Seattle Seahawks at the New Orleans Saints, and this scares me because the Saints offense has not been playing great lately. Now, they had a decent game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Seahawks defense is not great either, but I remember Russell Wilson's rookie year, they went down to Atlanta, they almost upset them, and I've seen them and Russell Wilson in the playoffs have really great efforts, and I remember they really stifled the Saints only a couple years ago, though that game was in Seattle. The Seahawks and Russell Wilson in the playoffs, man, they scare me to death. But the Saints at home have been very dangerous this season. They've always been dangerous in New Orleans. So I'm going to pick New Orleans to win this game, but it's going to be another close game, and this could be another bracket buster. With that said, we have the next game, Chicago Bears at the LA Rams. And remember, the Bears were the team that stifled the LA Rams only a couple weeks ago. We've seen so many of these matchups only a couple weeks ago, and they can't help but influence you now. So what happens now? So the LA Rams offense, it looks like it's back, right? And they're going to be back in LA for this game. Todd Gurley will have a lot of rest. He'll be ready to go, and I like that aspect. Can Mitchell Trubisky go to LA and get it done and outscore this team? I just don't think so. I think the Bears defense will give it the best they got. Although I love Mitchell Trubisky, you know he's been my guy. I can't pick him to do this. Give me the Rams to win this game. And then we have the NFC Championship that most people will have, but again, even this could be busted. We have the LA Rams against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. And this worries me because I think the Rams could go toe-to-toe with New Orleans in New Orleans. Because I saw the Pittsburgh Steelers almost go to New Orleans and get it done. Someone argued that they should have gotten it done because there was some, really wonky officiating in that game. The Steelers had control of that game. So how can you look at this game now and have so much confidence in the New Orleans Saints? But it boils down to this. We do have Jared Goff versus Drew Brees. And remember, we saw Jared Goff go to the playoffs last season and choke. He didn't show up against the Atlanta Falcons in LA, and that matters to me. That scars me mentally. I mean, how am I supposed to trust this guy on the big stage? Because I've seen him at the biggest stage. Sometimes he shows up like he did against the Kansas City Chiefs, and sometimes he doesn't. Against like the Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons last year. So this is another very difficult game to predict. But right now, I got the LA Rams going to New Orleans and getting it done against the New Orleans Saints. I hope Jared Goff is ready for the big stage, but with Todd Gurley by his side, he should be able to get this done. And with that said, we end with this. I got the LA matchup, the Battle of Los Angeles, the battle for Los Angeles. We saw this matchup this season, the LA Chargers versus the LA Rams. So here's my rationale. Okay, I believe that the Rams are more likely to get here than the LA Chargers are. So I'm going to play it a little safe. I'm sorry, I have to do it. I'm going to play it just a little bit safe here, and I'm going to pencil in the LA Rams to win this game. However, if we get to this game and I'm making my Super Bowl prediction, do not be surprised if I have the Rams losing this game and I have the Chargers and Phillip Rivers getting there. I just have to play it a little bit safe bracket-wise. But in all honesty, I'm rolling with the Chargers and Chiefs in my heart and head. Okay, I just think it's one of them. I think it's set up for them. I think they're ready. The only reason I didn't go Chiefs is, again, I think the Chargers are they're so confident going anywhere, and they're just better than the Chiefs at both sides of the football. But the Chiefs, to me, have been the best team all season, all around, even better than New Orleans Saints. Every single Chiefs loss have been impressive this season, going to New England and losing by 3 points, 43-40, losing to the Chargers by 1 point, losing to the Rams 54-51. Every time they've lost, it's been impressive. But they've lost, right? So that still worries me. This is just so hard. This year is so hard. I can't wait for it. So just know, okay, I'm penciling Rams. All right, I'll stick with that. But if things roll around and I got the Chargers or Chiefs here, I'm going to say something different Super Bowl week. So with that said, that is my bracket. What is yours? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. I will continue to cover the playoffs. I'll be making game recaps Probably not for all games because I ain't got time for that, but for as many games as I can. And man, I just can't wait for this. Until next time, this has been MJ, a sports fan entertainment. And until next time, I'm out. See you all later.